Hey there, Titanfall legends, my name is Geodude, here to celebrate 100,000 subscribers! I wanted to do my own video here on the channel. Of course, creator and former host Jackson Dale did one himself, including the announcement of his departure, plus the giveaway. Speaking of which, the winners will be contacted later this week. I also think we'll announce them on social media and in a video to be sure the people know they've won. I'm going to be answering some questions you gave me in a moment. If you would like to skip to the Q&A section here in the video, skip to this timestamp. But back to 100,000 legends now, just wow, thank you. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. I don't think I can fully convey how much this really does mean to me. I've been creating videos on YouTube for nearly 6 years now, going through a ton of different types of content, all gaming related for the most part, just trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. When the original game was first announced, it grabbed my attention immediately, hearing that the developers of the Call of Duty series, the original developers plus Modern Warfare, COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2, that grabbed me instantly. I just started paying attention very shortly after it was first officially announced. I believe I had heard about it prior, because they had talked about it somewhat in 2011, but the full announcement didn't come until 2013, and at that point that's when I really latched on. And then once the game was released, it lived up to all of my hype. I really did love the game, and also at the same time, that's when I started to see my first bit of growth on YouTube, as I had already been doing YouTube for a couple of years by the point when Titanfall 1 came out, and I was just so excited to be able to have a few thousand subscribers, well, probably a couple thousand more realistically, playing my favorite game and people watching me. It was a very exciting time with my personal channel, Geodude, I should mention. If you don't know, I do have a personal channel. That's where I've been doing videos for just about 6 years now. Unfortunately, the community and player base did fizzle quite a bit. Compared to the sales numbers of Titanfall, people just stopped playing it very shortly after it came out, which was a very sad sight to see, and just because I love the game so much, and it was like, well, how can you not enjoy this? Now looking back, there are a few things that can be pointed out. I will say that perhaps turned people off from enjoying the full game. So for the preceding time, I still uploaded the game. I tried to experiment with other things, being a little confused and not sure what to do, but then once Titanfall 2 was announced, it honestly was one of the happiest days of my life, which may sound a little dramatic, a little silly, but during that time I was quite depressed from things unrelated to YouTube, but seeing that a sequel to one of my favorite games of all time was coming was just so exciting. Then what correlated with finally helping me get out of depression, along with a couple other things at the time, but in large part it was due to this, was that at the beginning of summer 2016, a fan of mine by the name of Mr. Crumbit for the win, never going to forget his name, tagged me in a tweet saying that Titanfall Legends was looking for someone to continue to make videos as Jackson Dale was not able to keep up himself. While I had been a fan of Titanfall Legends since its original inception in 2013, I believe, which by the way, if you didn't know, there once was a channel before this current one during the Titanfall 1 days and leading up to it. Jax at one point decided he was done with it, and instead of just leaving the channel, he deleted the entire channel. So all of those videos and just the entire channel itself is gone. Definitely a very sad thing there. But what I was saying is, at the time, I hadn't been keeping up with Titanfall Legends fully. To be honest, I usually don't watch a lot of YouTubers with people who do similar content. Now with Titanfall 2, I've tried to keep up with other creators here in the community, but in general, I usually don't want to accidentally copy someone, and I like to try to do my own thing, so typically don't watch other Titanfall creators, I'll say. But I'm saying this, that if it wasn't for this fan, Mr. Crumbit for the win, getting my attention for this opportunity, I wouldn't have joined Titanfall Legends. So Jax and I went back and forth a bit over Twitter and the direct messages. I submitted a video talking about Titans and Titanfall 2 as a bunch of news, and the first full gameplay had just been officially released. He told me to make a couple changes, which I did, and then my first video was uploaded. From day one when I joined the channel, I was welcomed with an overwhelming amount of love and support, and that has continued to this day. Once again, to have been able to join this channel and to be able to create content that many of you enjoy, it's where a lot of my joy comes from. Being able to entertain, no matter if it's to make a silly joke or to even inform, bringing you all news. Of course, that has been a big part of Titanfall Legends, not so much recently, as there's been a bit of a slowdown with news. But through all this rambling, I just want to say thank you once again for 100,000 subscribers. I'm honestly so excited to see where the channel will go and to what new heights we can reach, as with not only Titanfall Legends, but also the entire Titanfall community with Titanfall 3. And also one final public thank you to Jacksonville for bringing me on to Titanfall Legends originally, and for help mentoring me with how to do certain things. I mean, I'd been doing YouTube for more than 4 years now, so I knew how to make videos, but just in terms of how to keep the quality here we've had in Titanfall Legends and figuring out how to present certain things. Just thank you once again to Jacksonville, to Lucas. Well, that definitely went a little longer than planned, but if you're just joining us here, I put the timestamp at this location here in the video. Thank you to everyone who asked a question. My apologies if I didn't choose yours. I do monthly Q&As over on my personal channel, Geodude, though, so you can always try over there whenever that comes around. But without further ado, answering a handful of questions here. First off, from Red Shadow 15, they say, for Q&A, do you think TF3 will improve some of the issues we have in TF2, and also having more Titans to choose from? Also, do you think they'll add a silent pistol class, because we really need 1 or 2 more different pilots to choose from, and a better way to customize our pilots and Titans? Well, that's definitely a broad question. First off, with improving some of the issues, I'm sure Respawn has looked at a lot of our feedback, and while they have been very receptive with listening to all of our suggestions and have implemented a ton of our feedback, which we gotta give a round of applause to Respawn. By the way, thank you to Respawn for Titanfall and Titanfall 2, just the entire series. I forgot to shout out them. But I'm sure there's some things that us as a community have recommended that was just too ambitious to implement and just too time consuming to implement into the current game, Titanfall 2, and maybe they have been saving some big things for Titanfall 3. So yes, I'm sure Titanfall 3 will be a better game. In my opinion, Titanfall 2 is an improvement over the first game, which took me quite some time to get around to. But with this being said, I honestly think Titanfall 3 could be better. I mean, Respawn has had a fantastic track record, but also a big part of it is us as a community giving them feedback. So yeah, I think things out of the gate with Titanfall 3 will be a lot more balanced overall. With more Titans to choose from, we'll have to wait and see. I honestly really do like the idea of 7 Titans now. I mean, of course 6 originally, and having them be sort of class-based, unlike in Titanfall 1, where there's a lot more customization. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Titanfall 3, if they're going to be doing the system from Titanfall 2, or perhaps maybe bringing a little more customization in. I mean, Monarch had some more customization to a certain extent, so maybe having all the Titans with Monarch-like customization in terms of upgrades being able to be chosen would be great. I honestly believe we'll see brand new Titans as a whole. I remember Iniquity on Twitter said that he thinks we'll see some return, but I really don't think so. Or I'll just say I more so hope so we get to see some new Titans, because as much as I love all the Titans we have, I mean, I love my Scorch, I will say I would prefer to see totally brand new Titans, and perhaps more. Also, do you think they'll add a silent pilot class? I mean, that in itself is pretty broad. Of course, there is like a little profile that helps a bit, but beyond that, someone that's completely silent, maybe as a kit, or, well, a pilot class like you said, that would probably work fairly well actually, having that be a tactical where you're totally silent. I would like that. I would love to see the return of suppressors on everything, which some people don't like that idea, but I do. Anyways, this is going to be a very opinionated video. I'm sorry if you disagree with anything I say. This is just coming from me, Geodude, personally, not trying to represent anyone here with these ideas that I'm throwing out. But thank you for your question. Next up, we have Edgar Martinez. For the Q&A, what would you think if the Titanfall series introduced new game elements to the franchise, like crafting, open world exploration, raids, etc.? I'm also going to tie in a question from the 7th Droid official. Q&A, what are your thoughts on a battle royale type Titanfall game? Imagine players in different factions dropping into the map from dropships, and you have to collect 4 batteries to call in a Titan. There could be things like crates so you can find ammo and boosts. The goal would be to be the last pilot standing or faction standing, similar to PUBG and Fortnite. So the reason I'm tying these two in together is I kind of want to address this in a broad sense. First off, if you recall, there was one point where EA was doing a survey and they mentioned some things to do with Titanfall that kind of made it seem like they were considering doing a MMO type game, and if they were to do that, that would be ridiculous if it was like an open world type thing. Personally, I would fully embrace it. Once again, I trust Respawn fully to see them try to tackle something that big. Is that going to happen? I mean, I honestly don't have a clue. Maybe doing that idea is what it takes to bring Titanfall to a massive audience, because while Titanfall, the series itself, of course, it has been known to be the underdog in terms of competing against like some very big juggernaut in the FPS series. Titanfall is still a big franchise, but to really be elevated to the next level, maybe changing up the formula a bit and trying to introduce bigger elements like that could help out the series' growth and popularity. But I mean, with that being said, with Battle Royale, I don't think so. While games like PUBG, it's the one I'm most familiar with in the genre. Of course, there also is like H1Z1 and you also said Fortnite. They're great games, but I think it's a trend that may not stick around for too long. But then again, anything Titanfall related I'll check out. We'll have to wait and see. Lior Gandelman, I have a question for the Q&A. Geodude, if you could choose one final DLC for Titanfall 2, what will it be? Like a new map, weapons, and such? Well, this may be a bit of a cop-out answer, but honestly, anything from Respawn would be fantastic. Which, by the way, if you did not know, we'll be getting an update from Respawn tomorrow on Tuesday, October 3rd, and I assume they're going to be telling us what they're going to be doing for the next while. My personal guess is that they'll say they're going to do one more DLC, and then we're not going to get anything else for Titanfall 2, because I would guess that Respawn is already working on Titanfall 3, but I presume that we're pretty much at the end of the DLC lifecycle here. But for this final DLC, I mean, just whatever. That's actually my answer. For a while I was saying, I want to see new guns, I want to see original maps. Unfortunately, didn't come true, except for Glitch, of course, with the original map. But, I mean, we got a new Titan as well. My actual answer, though, is I would love to see the Arc Cannon return. Trent's random stuff. Do you think Titanfall 3 will have a greater community? If you mean by the quality of the people in the community, I mean, maybe, but I honestly think Titanfall is the best gaming community I've ever had the pleasure to be a part of. Really, everyone is incredibly kind. I mean, being with Titanfall Legends, I read thousands and have read thousands of comments. Of course, there's some negative ones in there, but as a whole, everyone's so nice on the Titanfall subreddit r/Titanfall. Everyone, for the most part, is incredibly kind. Even in game, people are nice whenever I do hop onto the mic, which I don't do that often personally, but everyone, for the most part, is incredibly kind. If you mean greater in terms of popularity, well, I sure hope so. One thing I always think about is with Call of Duty, once again, Respawn, at least some of the core people, did create Call of Duty, and with that series, it did not become incredibly popular until the fourth title, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. With that said, it was Infinity Ward's third title, which Infinity Ward, well, those people came to Respawn quite a bit. But regardless, it still took a few titles for Call of Duty to really start to grow in popularity. The Good Doctor, Geodude, do you think maybe Jacksonville can be a card or faction leader? That would be incredible. To have Jax, to have his little face, I don't know about little face, but to have his face on a call sign, that would be great, but, I mean, probably not. Respawn did do one for Iniquity, fellow YouTuber, makes some great live commentary stuff as well as some music. Following his very close friend Onyx, his dog passed away earlier this year, and Respawn made a call sign for Iniquity's dog Onyx, which was such a sweet sign from Respawn. But just because they did that once, I mean, Jacksonville, he's still alive, and while he has had a big impact, I will say on the Titanfall community, I mean, well, he brought me to all of you, but I don't know. Anyways, no, it would be ridiculous to expect something like that from Respawn. And maybe when I die, or Jax dies, we could see. But no, I don't think so. Unless Respawn wants to do like a full YouTuber faction, that'd be great if there were multiple announcers where it could be Frothy and I arguing about things, because oftentimes I'd be way too positive about things, and he can maybe be the opposite of that. No offense to Frothy, love him, but and for the final question, Nicholas Uris, do you have any future plans for any other series that would be included in the Titanfall Legends channel? Just being realistic here, I know that people are not going to be playing Titanfall 2 as much as they have been, just as, well, school has come back. Player base has definitely slowed down a bit because of that. But, I mean, of course, people eventually get used to their schedule. It seems like there have been a little more people online recently. But then also with other games releasing, mainly direct competitors of Titanfall, the series with other FPS games, people want to check out the new stuff. So Unfortunately, it's just a reality that, I mean, this happens for every game. After a game has been out for a year, which by the way, end of the month will be the year anniversary, so excited for that. Expect a very big video. I was considering doing that video for 100K, but I need to spend more time, so I'll release it on October 28th, the year anniversary. But I'm saying all of this to say that we still have been receiving a good amount of submissions for top plays of the week, as well as top fails, funny and epic moments, which that series has been on a slight hiatus. It'll be back in a day or two, and then you can expect a new episode of that series, and around the beginning of the week, maybe the middle sometimes, and then plays of the week on Friday. So of course those are the two series, and as I said, we're still getting a decent amount of submissions, and I'm also a bit behind on both series, so that helps, I guess, a little bit, as we do have a bit of a stockpile. But then beyond that, I'm not sure, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see. If we do stop to get submissions, then I'll have to evolve the content we do a bit, because I never want to stop uploading here on Titanfall Legends. Waiting for Titanfall 3 may be a little slow at times, as there won't be any news coming out, and once again, I think we may at one point see a slowdown in submissions. But one thing I think I will do is after we pass the year anniversary, I think I'll start to accept Titanfall 1 clips, so if you have any awesome Titanfall 1 clips you want to submit, you can do that. If you have any ideas for a series, I'll think about this a little more, because honestly, I haven't spent a ton of time thinking on the future of the channel, waiting up for the first official Titanfall 3 announcement, and whenever that starts rolling. I'm predicting we'll see Titanfall 3 in like spring 2019, but well, I mean, that's not based in reality. I don't have any insider information at all in regards to that or anything else. But I don't know, this video was definitely a long one. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for 100,000 subscribers. My name is Geodude, and until next time, stand by for Titanfall.